to sponsor tonight's sporting event. Nelson Frazier has the highest quality American made funeral products, cremation services, mausoleums, and memorial markers, all with a family budget in mind. With three chapels located in Hyman, Martin, and now in Prestonsburg, Nelson Frazier Funeral Home is local people serving local families. Streets of glory.
Take the short drive to satisfaction with the Tim Short Auto Group. Up to 5,000 vehicles to choose from. Shop online or in person.
Hey, I'm Tim Short. I'd just like to invite everybody out to one of our 27 locations, or check us out online at timshortautogroup.com.
Take the short drive to satisfaction and bring home your new vehicle.
Nestled in the mountains of Appalachia, along the Purpose Road, is a hidden gem, Alice Lloyd College. For 100 years, ALC has been providing opportunities.
Opportunity to learn from the best.
Opportunity to work for my education.
Opportunity to serve my community.
Opportunity to become a leader.
Opportunity to find my life's purpose.
Apply now to find your purpose at Alice Lloyd College.
Knott County Judge Executive Jeff Dobson and the Knott County Fiscal Court is happy to once again be sponsoring another event featuring our Knott County youth. Judge Executive Dobson and the members of the Knott Fiscal Court encourage you to support all our Knott County youth in all of their academic and athletic endeavors. That positive reinforcement means the world to these student athletes. This reminder from Knott County Judge Executive Jeff Dobson and the Knott County Fiscal Court.
Are you looking for personalized health care that's efficient and close to home? Primary Care Center is now your destination for comprehensive health care in the center of your community. With a team of experienced and caring local providers, we offer a range of services. We have locations in Hazard, Hyden, Hindman, Fico, and now our new Whitesburg location. Stop by today and walk-ins are welcome. That's Primary Care Centers of Eastern Kentucky.
And hello to all of you. Happy Thanksgiving. I guess that's the appropriate way of saying it. I trust by now you've already had leftovers and as the old man down the road used to say, full as a tick. Guys, again, we are on here tonight on a Thursday afternoon. Debated on whether or not to do a show. Of course, a lot of people I know spending this time with their family, but as we've learned over the years, a lot of times people go back and watch the show when they're out of town or not able to catch it, or maybe perhaps Kentucky playing the same time as we are. And so I thought, why not, man? Getting ready to go Black Friday shopping tomorrow with my wife and see if we can't help Santa Claus find a few items. And then we will enjoy the middle part of a 4-day weekend with my little girls. But nevertheless, plenty to talk about. We had a busy week. Started things off up at Cordia and Car Creek middle school basketball action. We brought you that one here on Hometown Sports Corner. And then we were at Emelina and Hyman's matchup. The guys brought you that one on East Kentucky Junior Sports. As we have since learned, you can't broadcast two games at the same time. We're working on getting the bugs fixed out. Hopefully can get that up and running maybe by the middle part of December to where we could bring you two games at the same time. We were able to under the old system, but of course they had to do an awesome update. Y'all ever had that happen at work? They do an update on the system and make it not as good as what it was before they updated it. Well, that's kind of what happened to us and the system that we use to bring you guys these games. But with that said, still yet, guys, we got a lot to be thankful for, and the fact that we've been able to bring you all these games this week. We brought you three more, Tuesday night, as we brought you the first round of the West Prairie Warriors Classic, and then Todd and Chris finished things up with 4 games from over there last night. So if my math's right, that's 9 games in 4 days. That's not bad for a little company up here in Garner, Kentucky. Now, with that said, though, it's about to go from busy to busier. because we still will be able to jump back in and pick up a bunch of Alice Lloyd College games. And then high school basketball is upon us. And as we've told you before, James Sandlin and I are going to join forces with Hometown 24 and 25. Don't you never doubt I'm going to push Channel 25 to the max. Why? Because I think that's primarily where you'll see and hear my big mouth. I'm going to do a lot of games for them on that channel. And it essentially would just mean that we'll get to bring more attention to the student athletes, a much better quality as far as the equipment and so forth goes. And we'll still yet free up some space for some other guys to help us out here at Hometown Sports Corner to kind of get their feet wet and get into some broadcasting. And then, of course, Todd and Chris been doing a fantastic job for me anyhow. But I got a couple more guys wanting to come on board and call a few games, and we'll let them do that and get them to help us out. So you'll see plenty of us in the next little bit. How is everybody out there tonight? You let me know where you're watching from, as always, in that comment section. Perhaps we talk about what your favorite Thanksgiving food is. Mine is my little mama made me cornbread. I know that sounds strange, but I probably would say cornbread is my favorite food in the world when it's cooked right. It's hard to beat. And just so many different things you can eat it with, or just eat it by itself. And then my father-in-law makes a dressing, and it is guaranteed that it will rival anything you've eaten if you like dressing with your turkey or ham or what have you. There's Big Vance Hurley tuning in. Says, get that turkey, son. Hey, Vance, man. We've not had a chance to see you in a little while, brother. Of course, high school football's coming to an end. I have penciled down your home wrestling match, though, Vance. And also been doing some wrestling. Covering some wrestling, so I think I'm about ready for the debut of Vance the Flyer Hurley as he makes his coaching debut in wrestling. And Matt Pats will host, coming up in December, a matchup there. And again, he calls himself tonight, though. He says he's the topmost turkey slayer. Vance, have you already eaten turkey 2 or 3 times? That's a crazy question, ain't it, buddy? But guys, what's on your mind tonight? I want to talk high school football first. You want to talk grade school basketball? We got the new top 10 coming out tonight. Then we will look at our last Alice Lloyd College top 10 in football. This be hit for football, as all of our teams but one have been beat out. And so, of course, we'll just cross our fingers and toes and hope Belfry wins it all. But that will wrap us up. Don't worry, though. The first edition of Alice Lloyd College's Top 10 14th Region Rankings is coming out tonight. Next week, we'll do the 15th Region. And then 2 weeks from now, we'll do our Hometown Sports Corner Top 10, in which we will combine Clay County, Harlan County, the 14th Region, and the 15th Region. We'll give you who we feel are the top 10 boys and girls every week out of those 3 regions there. So, should be a ton of fun, man. But this week, I'm going to give you my top 10 for 14th Region boys and girls basketball as I see it. Of course, earlier tonight, I had a chance to join Manus Blair and David Adams. My buddy James Sandlin and myself teamed up with Brendan Miller and Nathan Little. I don't know why I have a hard time remembering Nathan's last name. But nevertheless, we brought you the 2nd annual 14th Region Preview Show on Hometown 24. So it's been a busy evening for us. But we're about ready to slow down just a tick here for a couple days and then get crazy busy next week. We'll talk more about that in a minute. Vance says that he has napped every time I've heard it. Might have been awake for 90 minutes because if you eat and sleep, potential of choking hazard. Have I not learned by now not to read everything that Vance types in the comment section? Hey, buddy, if you get a chance, Vance, we might holler at you here in a minute. But first of all, guys, I'm going to take a quick commercial break. And I'll be back once again, as I said we would, to kind of put a bow on high school football. We'll do that somewhat You'll see what I mean by that too here just in a moment.
What keeps you going? Your love for the game? Your teammates? A victory? At ARH Orthopedics, our goal is to keep you pain-free so your body can keep going. There's no time for discomfort in your joints or ligaments caused by an injury. ARH Orthopedic providers specialize in treatment plans, from non-surgical and surgical options, so your care is entirely centered around you. Visit arh.org/ortho to find an orthopedic provider near you. ARH, more for Appalachia.
Are you looking for personalized health care that's efficient and close to home? Primary Care Center is now your destination for comprehensive health care in the center of your community. With a team of experienced and caring local providers, we offer a range of services. We have locations in Hazard, Hyden, Hindman, Fico, and now our new Whitesburg location. Stop by today and walk-ins are welcome. That's Primary Care Centers of Eastern Kentucky.
Addiction is a disorder. We treat and we manage addiction like any other disorder. The issue touched me when I start seeing more and more young families fighting addiction, start having babies born with an addiction issue. When we have a great outcome, when we see that person coming back on their feet, working and producing and providing for their family. That's the best outcome, make you feel that you're doing something right.
Knott County Judge Executive Jeff Dobson and the Knott County Fiscal Court is happy to once again be sponsoring another event featuring our Knott County youth. Judge Executive Dobson and the members of the Knott Fiscal Court encourage you to support all our Knott County youth in all of their academic and athletic endeavors. That positive reinforcement means the world to these student athletes. This reminder from Knott County Judge Executive Jeff Dobson and the Knott County Fiscal Court.
For over 100 years, the Bank of Hyman has been committed to serving our community and serving the future of our families, homes, and businesses. With our new convenient online banking, viewing your account balance and history, transferring money, and paying bills has never been easier or more secure. And with the construction of our new headquarters, we've renewed our promise to Hyman to stand by our customers even in troubling economic times, because we're not just your bank, we're your neighbors. That's the Bank of Hyman. Log on to www.bankofhyman.com or give us a call at 606-785-3158.
And welcome back, guys, and a big thank you once again to all of our sponsors here each Thursday night for bringing you sports talk here on WKCB and Hometown Sports and all the other places, their social media pages that bring you this show here. Guys, we have had a ton of fun covering high school football. Saw more high school football personally than I've seen in any year that I've been covering local sports. Made it important to get out and watch some of these teams practice. Interviewed probably 25 or 30 of the kids before they played their first game. Saw Knott County Central have their first couple practices on a softball field of all places. And then we just followed them all season long and brought you a lot of what we call big time performance recaps and some pictures and so forth. We enjoyed ourselves. I promise you that with this year's football. But with that said, out of our 29 teams, only one is left standing, and that is the Belfry Pirates. They'll go and play in the 3A regional finals. 3A 2024 UK Healthcare Sports Medicine State Football Finals is upon them. And Belfry will play Union County. That should be a classic, guys. The winner of that then will play Lexington Catholic and Christian Academy out of Louisville for a chance at a state championship. Now, Belfry got to beat a Union County team that, as I've heard several others say, there are no bad teams once you get this far in the playoffs. But Belfry, I still feel like has a fighter's chance. RPIs and all that, if you want to look at some of that. I can't believe I'm even thinking about talking RPIs on my show, but RPI for Union County is a 6.564. Belfry is a 6.470. That means even the numbers that the crunch, as tight as they can crunch them, is basically the same. Belfry, again, will finish up with the best record in our coverage area, 11-2 on the season. and they hold our number one spot naturally. And let's look at that top 10. Final top 10 of the Alice Lloyd College top 10 sees Belfry at number 1. Prestonsburg standing tall. They finished out 11-2. They're 2. Hazard with an 8-4 record. They're 3. Martin County 4. Pikeville rounds out the top 5 in the 5 spot. Johnson and Lawrence County 6 and 7. Betsy Lane 8. Letcher County Central 6 and 6, 9, and Knox County Central at 7 and 4. One of the best seasons they've had since the late 90s. Finishes out our top 10, and that again is the Alice Lloyd College football top 10. Now, guys, as I said a moment ago, that is almost going to wrap us up in football. The reason I say almost, we're going to have our first ever Hometown Sports Corner awards banquet. During the awards banquet, we're going to give out some hardware for the Player of the Year, Quarterback of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Receiver of the Year, Running Back of the Year, first and second team offenses and defenses. Then we're also going to represent, or recognize I should say, the Player of the Year in volleyball. All first and second team in volleyball standings. We're going to recognize top 3. Let me back up. We're going to it's the Mountain Motor Speedway Fall Classic champions. They're going to be recognized. Plus, you, the fans, are going to vote for your driver of the year. You're voting. After tonight, I'll post the guys that got the most nominations, and you'll vote for your favorite driver in a particular class. And so that's going to be a lot of fun. Vance says, will there be food? Not this time, big man, but if I got anything to say about it, there will be next time. This is their first one. Feel like, Vance, and I think you agree with me on this, a lot of these kids don't get the recognition that basketball, sometimes even baseball gets, because their season ends, and about the time it ends, the other sports season starts. One, as they say, caveat, maybe that's not even the right word to use. We have that scheduled, and we have even sent some invitations out. However, we didn't realize that's the same night as the WYMT championship games. If we start to see a lot of the kids can't be there because they're going to be playing in the YMT, that may have to be pushed back another day. I'm working on that as we speak. Hopefully we'll have all of that in writing and able to post graphics and all that stuff next week on the show. So we are looking to see if we can't switch that date, because we can see a lot of, now with the YMT having the girls in it as well, and then some of these young ladies cheering, and then all the boys that play football and basketball, it could be a mess. And so we may lean heavily towards seeing if my friends at Alice Lloyd College won't let me have that awards night the following day, or maybe even a couple weeks down the road. I'll let you know for sure on next week's show, though, about that. But already getting a lot of good response. Several kids have said they would be there, and so I hate to change it because of that too, but we'll try to make a decision that's best for all of us that we possibly can. Now, guys, for 3 weeks we've been covering grade school basketball. It's kind of neat for us. I just personally, as the owner of Hometown Sports, love grade school basketball. If you find the right games, you can find some good games. Games in which the lead might change 10 times in a game. Might be one team just a little better than the other, but still yet not able to beat that team on that night. Then you always have players that are rising stars. Then you can watch them. You can tell someday that guy or that gal is going to be superb. It shows even at a grade school level. And I just, for that reason and some others, love grade school basketball. So with that said, we've been very busy here covering a lot of good grade school basketball games. Congratulations to Coach Riley's Yellow Jackets, as they got the 2024 West Prairie Warrior Classic Championship right here on Hometown Sports. Boy, they beat a good Breathitt County team who, oddly enough, won the Whitney Creech Classic over May Valley the last time we was here. So it's kind of, you see a trend going here. Number 1, 2, and 3, they're just beating up on each other depending on where they're at and how the ball's falling that night. But I got to sit courtside, took a bunch of pictures, about 50, 60 pictures of that Hyman-Breathitt game. And I'm telling you, whoever gets to coach all that talent that's coming up real soon will look like a living legend, because the talent in some of these 4 or 5 counties in this area are really, really good, top-notch players. But with that said, guys, how about we go ahead and unveil our top 10? I know there'll be some people disagree with it. That's all right. Won't be the first time that's happened to me. But here it is. In at number 1, I got to go with the Hyman Yellow Jackets. A healthy Yellow Jacket team is going to be hard to beat. Now, KJ Melton, probably still not 100%, but he played good. I thought he looked good in the Car Creek game. And then, of course, from that, they followed it up with a big matchup over Breathitt in that West Prairie Warrior Classic. And when you have the talent that Hyman's got, one guy can not be 100%, and it don't matter. Because Drew Little was on fire, had 12, 14 points, something like that in the first half, finished with a double-double as Drew helped his team beat Breathitt in the opening round. Then the second round against the East Prairie Miners, it'd be another big performance for Hyman, led by Jonah Ousley, as Jonah got the job done there. And then Hyman cut the nets down as they won the championship over who else? The Car Creek Indians. I've said it many times on this show. Car Creek and Hyman could go to Las Vegas, play in a tournament, and somewhere they'd meet in that tournament. It's just seemed like always been that way. But I've got Hyman at 1. That Breathitt team is every bit as good as what everybody told me they were. I have nothing but good things to say about that team. They've got a solid ball team from 1 through 5. They can take you off the dribble. They can still back and hit the jumper. They play defense on top of defense. Hyman probably got them a little bit on size advantage, but they can play 5 times, and it would be 5 outstanding games. With that said, though, I give them credit for winning the Whitney Creech Whitney Creech Invitational. Not Memorial. That's the dirt track of me coming out. It's an invitational. It's one of the really good tournaments over in Jenkins, Kentucky. And but anyhow, I have Breathitt after they won that one, but yet lost to Hyman. I have them in at number 2. I have May Valley, who got a big win over Pikeville, bounced back from that loss over in Jenkins. And May Valley, the Tigers over there, finishing in at 3rd. I still think Car Creek's got an opportunity to surprise some people. Coach Dallas got himself a point guard over there. He's got himself a sharpshooter in Mr. Kraft, and a big man that can play down low on pogo sticks the way he jumps. They'll get better, they being Car Creek. And we watched them play against Cordia, and Cordia's got a lot of nice players that are improving every week. And yet Car Creek pretty much had their way in that contest. With that said, though, I got Hyman, Breathitt, May Valley, Car Creek, and I still think, not because Vance Hurley's watching either, that Beaver could be the team to watch for. Beaver can cause Hyman problems down low. Beaver has a point guard that is second to none. He's putting up 25 points a ball game. They've got some shooters knocking down jumpers. The problem that I could see for Beaver against a Hyman or another matchup against Car Creek would be their depth. I'm not sure Beaver plays as many players as they need to play to win back-to-back nights against Hyman and Car Creek. But the Yellow Jackets and the Indian fans don't want to overlook this Beaver team. I've been saying that now for 3 weeks. They have the pieces to the puzzle. And we hopefully will have them on Hometown Sports in 2 weeks. Had hoped to have them this week, but I'll talk more about what's going on this week and why that might not happen. But we'll have the Beaver Creek Beavers on Hometown Sports Corner here in the next 2 weeks, certainly so. Then at number 6, East Perry, the Miners. I'm telling you something, other guys. That Miller kid, he is unreal. I kept hearing about some of the other players, and rightfully so. They've got a couple of super nice guards that everybody kept talking to me about. They got some nice players on the wings. But in my opinion, the Miller kid's top 5 in the mountains. If I had to pick an all-star team, he'd be my second or third call. He's everything that they could have built him up to be. He rebounds well. He plays tenacious defense. He and his coach have a relationship. He'd mess up every now and then and look over to Coach, and Coach Noble does as only Coach Noble can. He'd show you tough love, but then the next trip down let you know that he'd fight a bear for these kids. And so East Perry in at 6. I got Fleming Neon still yet in at 7. I need a little more love from you guys in Letcher County. Somebody send me some scores. We need to start getting more scores from Fleming Neon, Whitesburg, Jenkins. As those grade school / middle school games are played, send us your scores, guys, so we can share that with the folks here on Hometown Sports. Then I love this Adams Elementary team from over in Prestonsburg. We're going to try our best to have them on the Hometown Sports real soon. And Betsy Lane as well. Todd Meadows does a fantastic job carrying their games, but I want Betsy Lane on our network. So Hometown Sports Corner looking to pick up an Adams and Betsy Lane game, and then slipping back into the top 10. How about this Emelina team? Took a tough one on the chin to Hyman, but since then they beat Jones Fork, they beat Stinnett, went down to Jackson and got a good win over June Buchanan. I think they've won 4 or 5 in a row here. And so for that reason, they're back in our top 10. And rightfully so, guys. And so again, Hyman and Breathitt, May Valley, Clark Creek and Beaver, East Perry, Neon, Adams, Betsy Lane, and Emelina. And there is a bushel of other teams. Mullins certainly deserving to be in there. R.W. Combs deserving to be in there. Pikeville just slipped out. They'll go back in. They'll work their way back in. Took a tough loss to May Valley. No shame in that, though, for the Pikeville team. And we'll get some more really good grade school scores and games on here. The only fault I got with boys basketball, as far as the grade school teams go, is that season's winding down. Yes, sir. As Black Friday comes in, that lets me know December is here. Most of those grade school teams will play their tournament end of December, 1st of January. And so you got a couple really, really impressive coaches that always are able to get their teams better. And so with that said, there's just not a whole lot of time. Time is not presenting itself kindly to get these teams in the shape they want to get them in. Lauren says Hazard is tough. I agree 100% with that. In fact, talked to some friends of mine today about Hazard. I think they're the team, Lauren, that they're one of the teams I'm talking about. That by 3 weeks from now, nobody may want to play the Bulldogs. They toe-to-toe with the East Perry. And they've got a Miller kid. Imagine that. One on about 3 different schools that are leading the pack. I'm a big fan of Maggard over there. I think Maggard's got a chance to be a really good player. Still yet learning his role with that team. He knows what he can do, but it's just a new team, new style, if you have it that way. But then I thought Kincaid played well. A couple different players that played. Amos had a good game for them the other night. I agree 100%, Lauren. Hazard is a tough team. Hello, Roy Francis. Roy Francis got married on us. Flagman Roy. That we love so dear and thank the word of. Went and got married. Miss Judy and Roy tied the knot, and I didn't get to go. I apologize, Roy. Again, just couldn't. We were in Tennessee. Didn't get to make it back in time for your wedding, brother, but happy for you. Both of you got good people, my friend. Otis Brett Atkins says Pike County tournament isn't until February. I wondered about that. And if you're on there or somebody comes in here and watches this, does Floyd County, do they follow the suit? Do they play till February? I don't know. But I know Knott County's will be over, and we'll probably have teams playing AAU ball by February. But again, somebody smarter than me is making that decision, I guess. I just wish the boys could get a little bit more in-county playing time. Also, know that because some of the games have already got canceled, it'll probably be a scramble for them to reschedule those games if we're seeding, and I'm pretty sure we are seeding our postseason tournament. So you guys keep letting us know that info, though. In the comment section, drop your favorite grade school team. Give a shout out to them. The kids are enjoying this coverage, and we're enjoying covering them, to be quite frank with you. And you guys let us know who you've seen. Perhaps there's somebody you think we should have put in the top 10 that we didn't. I think we're going to get less complaining about it, though, because I got a body of work to go by. I can tell you why we picked these 10 teams. We've seen them play enough now to know that they're for real. They're legit. We'll continue to watch them, though, as the season goes on. Now, speaking of top 10s, we've still got our first showing of the Alice Lloyd College top 10 for the 14th region, boys and girls. If you're just tuning in, the plan is tonight to talk to you folks about what I think about the 14th region will look like. Now, I know we had the show on Hometown 24, but you got to understand, I was part of a panel. Sometimes you agree with them, sometimes you don't. You try not to do all the talking. As opposed to tonight, it's kind of my gig. It's my show. I'll tell you again, though, where I see things and how I expect things to unfold. And then I'll let you guys laugh at me or get angry at me or say I agree 100% with you. Either way, we'll hopefully be friends after it's all over. I ain't going to make too many enemies. Life's too short. But I am going to take a commercial break, get me a big drink of Aquafina water over here. I'm dry as I don't know what after all that turkey we've eaten today. But we'll be back to talk a little more basketball from Hometown Sports Corner coverage area after this.
Are you looking for personalized health care that's efficient and close to home? Primary Care Center is now your destination for comprehensive health care in the center of your community. With a team of experienced and caring local providers, we offer a range of services. We have locations in Hazard, Hyden, Hindman, Fico, and now our new Whitesburg location. Stop by today and walk-ins are welcome. That's Primary Care Centers of Eastern Kentucky.
Addiction is a disorder. We treat and we manage addiction like any other disorder. The issue touched me when I start seeing more and more young families fighting addiction, start having babies born with an addiction issue. When we have a great outcome, when we see that person coming back on their feet, working and producing and providing for their family. That's the best outcome, make you feel that you're doing something right.
For over 100 years, the Bank of Hyman has been committed to serving our community and serving the future of our families, homes, and businesses. With our new convenient online banking, viewing your account balance and history, transferring money, and paying bills has never been easier or more secure. And with the construction of our new headquarters, we've renewed our promise to Hyman to stand by our customers even in troubling economic times, because we're not just your bank, we're your neighbors. That's the Bank of Hyman. Log on to www.bankofhyman.com or give us a call at 606-785-3158.
Take the short drive to satisfaction with the Tim Short Auto Group. Up to 5,000 vehicles to choose from. Shop online or in person.
Hey, I'm Tim Short. I'd just like to invite everybody out to one of our 27 locations, or check us out online at timshortautogroup.com.
Take the short drive to satisfaction and bring home your new vehicle.
Nestled in the mountains of Appalachia, along the Purpose Road, is a hidden gem, Alice Lloyd College. For 100 years, ALC has been providing opportunities.
Opportunity to learn from the best.
Opportunity to work for my education.
Opportunity to serve my community.
Opportunity to become a leader.
opportunity to find my life's purpose.
Apply now to find your purpose at Alice Lloyd College.
Knott County Judge Executive Jeff Dobson and the Knott County Fiscal Court is happy to once again be sponsoring another event featuring our Knott County youth. Judge Executive Dobson and the members of the Knott Fiscal Court encourage you to support all our Knott County youth in all of their academic and athletic endeavors. That positive reinforcement means the world to these student athletes. This reminder from Knott County Judge Executive Jeff Dobson and the Knott County Fiscal Court.
And a big thank you to all of our good sponsors here on Hometown Sports Corner. I'm happy to say that I think we picked up 2 new sponsors. They'll be on hopefully next week for us. We also start next week, we'll be doing our Christmas commercials. If you've got a local business or an organization, or perhaps you just want to give a special Christmas shout out to your favorite persons, you can do that by contacting us here, and we'll put together a little Christmas card for you or a Christmas commercial, whichever one you choose to go with. And we'll have that here to offer you guys. Guys, I want to also say, too, that I had myself a ball at the Appalachian Mountain Wrestling Thanksgiving Turmoil. They called it War Games. That was the main event, and the main event did not disappoint. Had a Hall of Fame induction that took place, and then after that Hall of Fame induction, we had the main event there. As you see John Noble climbing into the cage there. Folks, 2 rings with a cage all the way around it. Sell-out crowd. Okay? That alone was, you can kind of let you know how electrifying that place was. And the fans just got to see a show for the AMW War Games that took place. Several good matches that I've had a chance to write about. Check these guys out here. How about them boys strutting out there like they own the place? It was their night to shine. This was a cool ring entrance. I will have to give them that. As we see the Hazard Bulldogs boys basketball team and their head coach, Kyle Maggard, leading Team Maggard. Here's a little promo of Kyle, and then he would come through the backdrop and head into War Games. And you got to check that out. Go to their YouTube page. A lot of times when you have your best show of the year, especially in wrestling, you want everybody to buy the DVD or the pay-per-view. Not those guys. You can catch their main event on YouTube as soon as you quit watching our show here tonight. I do want to say, too, if you haven't done so, you want to make sure you're following Hometown Sports Corner's Facebook page. And then you also want to subscribe to our YouTube channel. I don't do a good job, I will admit, promoting the YouTube page. But it's become a lot more popular because that's where a lot of people watch our basketball games. They tell me the video's a little better. Plus, everybody has the YouTube channels now on their TV. So, I don't care how you catch us, as long as you catch us. Does it hurt the Facebook numbers? A little bit. I ain't in it for that, though. I never have. I ain't going to start now. We do what we do to promote the kids and have fun doing it. Now, with that said, though, folks, I told you we would. Let's talk a little high school basketball. Oh, my. You guys know, if you know me, you know how much I love high school basketball. I've been a super fan of it since I was a kid myself. I kid you not. I was going to the WYMT Mountain Classic 6-7 years old. My dad and I made it a point. I didn't get a chance to go watch the Wildcats in Rupp. So my biggest week of the year was to get to go to the Mountain Classic. And Daddy and I have watched. If we lived a couple years, we moved away. I wish I knew when those years were, actually. Because outside of those, we were at the Mountain Classic. He and I had a streak 10, 12 years in a row that we went to that thing. And at one time it was called the Bobby Keefe Classic, as his Clay County Tigers continuously won it. Then it felt like the guys in Perry County were never going to give us Knott Countyans a chance to win the title. And then there was this time in which Knott County was able to say, this is our classic. And but anyhow, you guys know, you can tell by my voice, I get hyped up and excited about that Mountain Classic. And it'll be here before we know it. And I'm going to see if I can't talk James Salmon into let me help him call at least one of those games. I figure he will. What do you guys say? But let's talk. This is how I see the 14th region. Do we want to do boys or girls first? Let's do boys, because I think that I can have less people disagreeing with me by how I do or see the boys. Let's see if I'm right on this. Here is my top 10. 14th region boys top 10. Now, like I said, I'm going to preview the boys this week and the girls in the 14th region. Then I'm going to preview the boys and the girls in the 15th region next week. And then the third week, we're going to put them all in the same top 10, along with the teams from Clay County and Harlan County. But anyhow, I got Hazard, and I think anybody else does that knows much basketball has Hazard in at number 1. Bulldogs return every starter from a Final Four team that everybody thought would win last year. Those starters have gotten much, much better. A couple of them, from what I hear, have had unreal summers. Then you add to the fact that you got a player of the caliber of Ridge Beverly that has transferred into Hazard, along with Dr. Shoptall's youngest son. I understand maybe playing. And all that, plus the fact that the guy we call the GOAT, Coach Al Holland, will be on the sidelines one more time for the Bulldogs. I think it's a good resume. I got Hazard in at number 1. I got Breathitt County, though. I think they have the best player in the 14th region. Now, some will disagree with me on that, and that's okay. I'm taking no disrespect, nothing against what you fans think, but I got to go with Mr. Spurrier to be the best player in the 14th region. Got a Hall of Famer coach down there as well. They can start 5 seniors. Now, experience pays off, folks. It's pretty good. And Coach Honeycutt and the Bobcats, I have them in at number 2. After last year, I'll never count Shannon Hoskins' teams out. And I'm a huge, huge fan of Woods. I think he plays the game the right way. He loves to take this big shots. I think my buddy Chad and Dolores' baby boy is poised to have himself a nice young season over there, along with Mr. Prater, of course, our hometown sports corner 8th grade game MVP, and some other young talented players over there at Perry Central. I put them in at 3. Knott County Central. I think Knott County Central has the potential to make a big run. I think they can be a headache for somebody in that regional tournament. I don't know that Knott County has the scoring, and they'll share the ball, and there'll be games when people will say that Jamie didn't have a clue what he was talking about, because they'll put up 60, 70 points perhaps. But my question is, for Knott Central, who leads them in scoring night in and night out? Who's going to be the guy to get to 20-point night when they need it? I don't know. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope Drake Sloan is healthy. The fact that Drake's football season come to a halt and he didn't finish the season out leads me to believe that perhaps Drake's not 100% from some other injuries. We'll see, though. It won't take long to tell. That's the good thing about high school basketball, especially the schedules some of these teams play nowadays. But I'm a huge Chance Ambergy fan, as you guys know. Got a lot of other kids on that team that I love dearly and want to see them succeed. It's not a knock on Knott County to be 4th in this region, by the way, either. But that's where I've got them right now. Don't adjust your screen, and don't think I've totally lost my marbles. I'm not the only one that's saying what I'm saying about Jenkins. Now, I think Cat's Paws had them 8th or 9th. I saw some other sporting outlets that had him somewhere in that neighborhood. I think some of those guys just kind of look at each other's notes, and obviously I just told you I look at their notes. But Jenkins is for real, guys. My friend over there, Winston Lee, will cause people some fits this year. You remember I said that. Cam Hayes, that I'm a huge fan of. I'll never forget what happened to Cam in our All-Star game. And that young man, as he hurt his leg, proved to me he's the toughest kid in the 14th region. I told him that night, I said, nobody will ever convince me that you're not the toughest player in this region. Well, Cam, if you're wondering what I'm talking about, has switched to Jenkins. He's transferred to Jenkins. And added to the fact they had 3 hometown Sports Corner All-Stars on that team last year. I think Coach Winston Lee's no flying under the radar for you, brother. Right off the bat, I got you in at number 5. Leslie County. I think this is the team nobody's talking about and should be. They got a couple of nice guards, and they got a coach that knows how to win, and he'll get the best out of them. Whatever Leslie County's best is, Coach John Noble will get it. And I'll take Leslie County to be a top 10 team. I got them in at 6. Wolfe County's the other team everybody's give up on. I've not heard anybody talk to anybody outside of Campton, Kentucky down there. Did I go too far? It is Campton, right? Anyhow, outside of Wolfe County, that is not overlooking them. A lot of people just talking about how that man, and I know they lost a very good player in Fletcham. They had a couple seniors to graduate. But as long as they got a dirt track driving point guard that they've got, and I'm not talking about just because he drives on the racetrack either. He can drive down the lane. He can distribute the ball. Caleb Creech, in my opinion, is one of the top 10 players this season. And I think it'll show. Maybe even more than it did last year. Let's see if I'm right on that. There were times last year, and I've just bragged on him to the point you can tell I'm a fan of his. But there were times last year that I felt like Caleb might have been too passive. Guys, I've been watching this kid since he was helping dominate the AAU ranks for that team down there. He will put on a show, and this could be the season that everybody says Jamie was right about one thing. Caleb Creech is the real deal. Lee County, though, the Fletcham kid that I just told you left Wolfe County, well, that's where he went to. And he'll join a Lee County team with Brandon Berg down there and a couple other nice players that I think could be a dark horse to get to the Final Four of the 14th region. Now, how about that for a team that we ain't talked about in a while? Been a couple years, to be quite frank. Fletcham has a chance, guys, to be one of the top 5 players. He may be setting himself up for Player of the Year next year. I know it's a little early to be talking about that, but I think he's capable of doing that. And with that said, I got Lee County in at number 8. Letcher Central, their coach is gone. Their what we would have thought would have been their best player returning is not there. And a lot of question marks for the folks in Whitesburg. I don't think there's as many as everybody else does. I'll still yet put Coach Trevor Noble and his Letcher Central Cougars in the hunt. Now the problem is going to be Knott County, Letcher Central, and Jenkins. Now with June Buchanan coming back and Cordia, from what we understand, and I'll be able to talk more about this hopefully next week, they picked up 4 new faces, maybe, I'm being told. That's a 5-team district. Only 2 of them's going to the region. Somebody that probably is a top 8 school, if you were to rank them 1 through 8, I think the 53rd would have 3 of the 8. Well, one of them's not going to the regional tournament. Who's it going to be on the outside looking in? I don't know. But I'll tell you, I still don't think things are as bad at Letcher Central as everybody thinks. I think over there they've got enough talent, especially coming off of a football season that they've had. They may have to go recruit some of those football players to come out and help them get the job done. But they'll be ready in Whitesburg, and I've got them in at number 9. Then finally, for the boys' top 10, guys, I have so much respect for Brian Hall. He's an Alice Lloyd alum. He just don't get rattled. He finds a way every year. Every year, about tournament time, you start looking to see who he has down there leading them in scoring. Who he has that's going to come in like they did down to Jackson a couple years ago and put on the show. Or, of course, the showing they had this past season down in Powell County. Brian, there's a reason why every year it's new names, but the same coach and the same team at Estill County that's in the hunt. They'll be there again. I believe that totally. And so for that reason, I have them in at the number 10 spot for our hometown sports corner, Alice Lloyd College sponsored number 10. Guys, before we run out of break, we're going to go ahead and talk to you a little bit more about the top 10 from the girls' standpoint. I also want to invite you guys to continue to vote. We published a poll in which I love to do this, let you fans kind of interact with us. This is where you think the girls are. This is your pick for the girls' 14th Region Player of the Year. And if you can look right there on the screen, you guys have actually picked Leslie County's Ava Napier. She's your pick to be the Player of the Year. You have Hazard's Maddie Fronapple at the second spot, and Knott County Central's Kyra McAlliance at third. PCC's Brooklyn Cornet and Owsley County's Macy Brown is your top 5 vote getters so far. I don't think it's going to show me the rest of them, but anyhow, that's where that you picked them. Well, with that in mind, let's take your information plus what I think's returning, and let's talk after we return from this commercial break about what I think will be the girls' top 10. We'll be back after this.
Nelson Frazier Funeral Home is proud to sponsor tonight's sporting event. Nelson Frazier has the highest quality American-made funeral products, cremation services, mausoleum, and memorial markers, all with a family budget in mind. With 3 chapels located in Hyman, Martin, and now in Prestonsburg, Nelson Frazier Funeral Home is local people serving local families.
Streets of glory.
Take the short drive to satisfaction with the Tim Short Auto Group. Up to 5,000 vehicles to choose from. Shop online or in person.
Hey, I'm Tim Short. I'd just like to invite everybody out to one of our 27 locations, or check us out online at timshortautogroup.com.
Take the short drive to satisfaction and bring home your new vehicle.
For over 100 years, the Bank of Hyman has been committed to serving our community and serving the future of our families, homes, and businesses. With our new convenient online banking, viewing your account balance and history, transferring money, and paying bills has never been easier or more secure. And with the construction of our new headquarters, we've renewed our promise to Hyman to stand by our customers even in troubling economic times, because we're not just your bank, we're your neighbors. That's the Bank of Hyman. Log on to www.bankofhyman.com or give us a call at 606-785-3158.
Knott County Judge Executive Jeff Dobson and the Knott County Fiscal Court is happy to once again be sponsoring another event featuring our Knott County youth. Judge Executive Dobson and the members of the Knott Fiscal Court encourage you to support all our Knott County youth in all of their academic and athletic endeavors. That positive reinforcement means the world to these student athletes. This reminder from Knott County Judge Executive Jeff Dobson and the Knott County Fiscal Court.
Are you looking for personalized health care that's efficient and close to home? Primary Care Center is now your destination for comprehensive health care in the center of your community. With a team of experienced and caring local providers, we offer a range of services. We have locations in Hazard, Hyden, Hindman, Fico, and now our new Whitesburg location. Stop by today and walk-ins are welcome. That's Primary Care Centers of Eastern Kentucky.
And again, happy Thursday evening, Thanksgiving Thursday for you guys and myself. Thanks to all of you that are tuning in. as we stepped away there, we were talking a little bit about the boys and girls 14th region. And again, I've kind of leaned upon different, it's preseason, folks, okay? So you're not going to be able to get them all right, but you go with what you saw last year. You look at who they return. You look at their early season schedule. You try to find some notes from everybody that's out and about, what they think about it. But you're still going to be kind of like throwing the darts. It's a hit and miss thing this early in the season, just like it was with our football teams. I do want to say this too, though, now. This week, we're previewing the 14th regions. Next week, we're going to talk 15th region. And then 2 weeks from now, on tonight's, 2 weeks from tonight's show, we will put them all together. And we will unveil our true top 10. Do want to also say we do our top 10s a little different. We will look at what they have done up to that point. Also, we'll figure in how we felt like they were at the beginning of the season, and then we'll roll with it. We'll each week look at how they performed, where they went, the wins they got, who led them in scoring, and talk a lot of good sports talk here on Thursday evenings for you for the rest of the season. With that said, though, I do want to say, too, that I think we might have missed the boys' 14th Region Players of the Year by you, the fans. Now, this is what you, the fans, said, not necessarily even my opinion. But if this thing, I'll bring it up now. It is. Let's go down here and try to show you guys what you said you thought the top 10, or top 5, I should say, would be. And you've got in here a lot of good choices, let me say that too now. A ton of talent in the 14th region. The All-Star game from the 14th region this year, I'm looking ahead, should be awesome. I can promise you that. I really believe it to be loaded from the top to the bottom. But so far, in our Hometown Sports Corner poll that you can go vote on there, you see them. Do you see them? Yes, there they are on the screen. Breathitt County's Austin Spurry got 30% of the votes. Then Hazard's Evan Everso has got 24% of the votes. Then Drake Sloan and PCC's Trayton Woods, 11% of the votes. Corey Fletcham and Wolfe County's Caleb Creech also getting some love there. That is the top picks by you, the fans, on who you think will be the boys' 14th Region Player of the Game, or Player of the Year, I should say. And we always do try our best to, every week, give out shout-outs to who we think has the best performance of the week. And we generally recognize the 3 players in boys and in girls that you, the fans, say that you think had the biggest week. And so I like to run these polls. I just think it's a good way for fans to show support and get to voice their opinions each week about what happened that week in local basketball. But enough talk about that. Let's go, if we can, here. And we can. Take us just a second to the girls. Here is my girls' top 10. As you all, I can get a drink of water here. I hate to do this on air, but oh, by the way, it's a good time to be a Kentucky fan, right? Coach Mark Pope got his Wildcats playing so well, and that was a Christmas gift they got me last year. Was that Kentucky Medal Cup? That thing I hold ice just about all day. But here we are again, top 10 from the 14th region, brought to you by Alice Lloyd College. Number 1, I have Megan Huff's Knott County Central Lady Patriots. The front runner in most people's polls for Player of the Year is Kyra McAlawrence, and she transferred to Knott Central. and she joins some young players from over there and some experienced players from over there that I think could have Knott County Central's girls right back in the Sweet 16. With that said, and if you watched the preview show earlier tonight, I'll take some heat for perhaps what I said, but I still stand by it over there and here. I don't think the margin between Knott County Central and Hazard will be as big as everybody else does. I feel like that Hazard's young team has now gotten a couple years of experience underneath them. I think that they left with a bad taste in their mouth last year down there in that regional tournament. Young ladies left a lot of tears on the court as they were emotionally distraught and just tore up, to put it politely, that they didn't win that region. They felt like they were the team that could have won the region, could have surprised everybody. Well, this year they'll feel that way again, but it'll be on their home court. The girls' regional title game will be right there in Hazard, Kentucky, and I, for one, will want to have my ticket and you'll want to have yours. And so I have Hazard. I've said all that then to say this. I think Hazard's 2, but I don't think it's as far away as everybody else thinks it is. I think there's a world in which you could have sweet-talked me, persuaded me, or what have you, into picking Hazard to win this region. I'm saying that now, before we ever play our first game. Owsley County. I think Coach Smith is the most underrated coach in the 14th region. I know that he lost a lot of seniors. I know that Miss Terry, which would have been his best player, transferred to the 13th region, or 12th region, I guess it is. Anyway, she's at Montgomery County. And best of luck and best of wishes to Addison. But I still think Owsley County can be right there. I wouldn't count the coach out again as much as he was expected to do 2 years ago and just wasn't able to get over the hump. And then what they done last year with the All-A and the 14th regional tournament, I've got them in at 3. Perry Central. Here's a team that nobody's, I don't feel like giving the respect to, and I get hit. They lost their leading rebounder and scorer, or certainly their leading scorer. And then not only did they lose her, they lost what would have probably have been another starter or a 6th man and her little sister. And then another superb young player that transferred from Perry County to Knott County. I'm a big fan of hers as well. They're young, but they'll be a good addition to Knott Central's offense, and Perry will miss them. However, guys, I don't know if some of you realize the competitor that Perry Central has hired as their new coach. She'll do a fantastic job there. I'm surprised. My crystal ball, my notes that I would have written out on where she would have ended would not have been Perry. To be quite frank, I would have thought that we'd see her coach Letcher Central. And then there was a world in which there was a couple of other schools I could have seen her got to coach at before going to Letcher. But now she's probably, rather than thinking about going to Letcher, she's going to try to build a dynasty at Perry Central. And Kaylee will do a fantastic job over there for them. Be patient, give her a little time, and those young ladies will learn quickly why I regard her as one of the best that I've had a chance to cover since I've been doing these games. And she'll do a nice job for them over there at Perry Central. I have them in at 4, by the way. They do have what I think might be the best rebounder in 14th Region basketball, Miss Cornett. They've got Miss Noble to probably get to do a little more with the basketball. Taylor will do a fantastic job for them. Hometown Sports Corner All-Star. I said all that to say this. The cupboard's not as bare at Perry County as everybody thinks. Randy Napier built a dynasty over there, and he put girls basketball on the map actually before they consolidated, and then took it to perhaps another level after they consolidated. With that said, I don't think Perry Central's as far back as everybody else does. Then Breathitt County. if Breathitt stays healthy, this may be the team that everybody says, how in the world did you have them 5? Why didn't you have them 2 or 3? But we also know that sometimes injuries have a chance to rear their head up. I hope it doesn't. I hope for you fans in Jackson that the ladies get to play healthy all season, and it's not just the boys that we're talking about down there, but also the girls. It can be. If they're healthy, that Bobcat team can be one that will surprise people come tournament time. Then we go down to number 6, Letcher Central. Letcher Central, kind of like the boys. I don't feel like people was giving them the respect and the love that maybe they deserve. Even more so. That's why I've got them ranked a little higher than I ranked the boys. Guys, Keith Baker hasn't forgotten how to coach. Okay? There's a reason why that he had the stretch that he had. It was either he or Jeff Honeycutt winning the regional title year in and year out. Excuse me. And oh, by the way, they had to play each other in the same district. And then they'd turn right around and compete as pure competitors against each other in the regional championships often. Coach Baker will play more players. He will get Miss Holcomb to have a superb season. And Letcher Central will be in the hunt. They'll be the team that nobody will want to play in the first round of the 14th regional tournament. You heard me say that first. Leslie County. I know and it's a respect to the seniors that Leslie had last year, I think, is why Leslie's not getting a lot of recognition in most people's polls. Folks, they have themselves a very good young team down there. Going back to I watched 4 or 5 of their JV games last year. And some says, well, why you pay attention to that? Because it's next year's varsity. If you got time, get in there and watch these JV games, support those kids, and make notes of who does what. If you remember, the Letcher Central Leslie JV game was a classic. Might have went to overtime over at Leslie, but again, that's just one of the games that stands out in my mind. Again, a couple other nice JV games that I saw him play. Coach Farmer has put an imprint on that team over there that they know the style she wants to play, the tempo she wants to play. They bought into her way of thinking about it. And I think Leslie County can be right there in the thick of things. Estill County, their coach last year, James Sandlin, and I just absolutely made some friends down in Estill County. Their coach is cool, though, not just because he was friendly and good to talk to, but I like the fact that he just told us on the air that I'm the one coach in this region that I'm going to do whatever it takes to win. There are some coaches, and I respect you being you, but they're going to play man-to-man, full court, half court, and that's it. Not Estill County. The engineers coach told us, he said, here's where I come up with this zone that I felt like we would put all the pressure up top. We went 3-1-1. He said we were going to get their shooters up top. We were going to meet them at the free throw line. And if for some reason they were to beat us on the real low post, he said I had to live with it. He said, but this was the chance that I thought would give us a chance to win and move on. And they did. All the way, I think it was to the finals of the 14th regional tournament, certainly the semifinals. And they had everybody down there in that big train in their band chewing and rocking, and the place was loud and proud. And Estill County, don't count them out once again. Then the Jenkins Lady Cavaliers. Guys, their leading scorer and their leading rebounder graduated. If I'm right, she's at Alice Lloyd College now. But even with that, Jenkins had enough talent last year that everybody's giving the Lady Cavs some love and some respect, including me. I watched them over at Alice Lloyd. I done that game as Jenkins and June Buchanan played each other. Then I had a couple other Lady Cavs games in which we were able, and then I know I had the district tournament up there. They got some guards that can play, and they'll make some noise. And that 53rd District over there. And then last but not least, I think Wolfe County. I've got them in at 10. I could have moved them up to 6th. I mean that. I would have had them 6th or 7th had I not had a chance to talk to our buddy Brendan Miller earlier this week and find out they've had a couple of injuries. They are, in my opinion, a point guard away from being a top 5 team. Miss Jasmine she's a 3-time, I'm already actually talked to her about, she'll be a 3-time Hometown Sports Corner All-Star. They got a couple other nice players to go along with them, and I won't be one bit surprised if Wolfe County isn't in the hunt come tournament time. Because what they'll do, their coach down there, he'll take a guard and he'll say, this is your team. This is when we're going to run the offense. This is the plays you're going to run. This is, if you'll listen to me, I'll make the changes for you. And he'll find maybe a point guard by committee. Maybe it has to be a point forward. I don't know how he'll do it. But I am quite confident that Wolfe County's girls are going to be better than everybody gives them credit for. Let's see if I'm right about that. Guys, some of you don't even like top 10s. In fact, I've had several people tell me that I shouldn't do top 10s. Here's why I do them. It gives you something to talk about when you don't have guests on, when you don't have interviews. It also gives you a chance to kind of gauge where teams are now and where they'll be at the end of the season, week in, week out, who might have played and beat each other. When 6 plays 7 and 7 wins, and you might say, uh-oh, I was a little wrong about that. Let's move them up and drop the other team down. I also like the fact the 14th and the 15th region play each other a lot, so that affords me the ability to do this somewhat. But it's just fun. I enjoy it more probably than other people do. That's okay. They can spend 7 or 8 years building a program and host their own show. I'm not being rude or hateful in saying that, but I've done this long enough now that I'm going to have fun doing it. You're not going to change my mind on how I'm doing it. I think it's a good way to look at the body of work that the teams do week in and week out. That's my opinion. That and 50 cents won't buy you a Pepsi anymore. But thanks to all of our sponsors, and thanks to you, the good fans, that have tuned in here for a Thanksgiving Thursday night show. Why didn't you have any guests? Because it's Thanksgiving. I wasn't going to ask nobody to come on here. I didn't even message Todd, who is graciously good enough to be on here and talk grade school basketball just about any time I messaged him. I didn't want to bother James Sandlin while he was having time with his family. And so tonight, we talked about an hour, pretty much by ourselves. For those of you that watch it, hit that like and share button, though. In the comment section, let us know what you agree and disagree with, and we'll talk about it as we get more time and it permits. But we're going to continue to work and put in the time and the energy to make this program even better. I'm looking for 4 or 5 new sponsors over in the 15th region, and we will soon be doing 15th region basketball, even if it's with 14th region sponsors. I am, as they say in country music, coming to your city. We will be doing some 14th region stuff. When I say we, it may not necessarily be me, but Hometown Sports Corner. We now have the equipment and we have the capabilities of doing games by a hardwired internet versus Wi-Fi, and that's more technology than anybody wants to hear me talking about at 11 o'clock at night. But it will allow us to do games in places that we before could not have done the games. We can do them now. Alice Lloyd College, of course, coming up. They've got their only game in December is Tuesday night. And so we'll try our best. I won't be on the mic. I have to preach a funeral. A good friend of mine, a UK icon as far as a fan goes. Mr. Johnny Sloan passed away from here in Garner, Kentucky. And I'll be preaching his funeral Tuesday night. But I got a couple guys I think I can tag them in and get them to go over and call a college game for me. And we'll be over there to bring you those games Tuesday night from Pippa Passes, Kentucky. Looking forward very much so to Coach Scott Pointed and Coach John Mills' teams. And then, guys, again, we got our high school schedules yesterday. And so when I say we, Hometown 24 and 25, you make sure that you're watching Hometown 25 because you're going to see me on there a lot. I'm going to be bringing you some of the games on there. But I also will be right here with Hometown Sports. We built this thing, wasn't on rock and roll, but we built it with the help of you fans. Almost 17,000 followers. You think about that. Almost 17,000 followers. If you help us tonight, we can get even closer. We're over 16,000 followers. I'll say it that way. And that's all because of you folks. And we appreciate you so, so much for making it all possible. And then, guys, too, the last 30 days for this show has been crazy. Our Hometown Sports Corner page, I don't talk numbers too often, but now's the time we're switching some sponsors and trying to pick up a couple new sponsors. 3.4 million views. Let me say that again. 3.4 million views in the last 30 days. What you're going to find is Chris Gotzi and I talked the other night, a potential to advertise your business at a local level for the less money is what we can put you on the air for. Message me. Hit me up. Let me hear from you. And help us grow this thing even more to where we can promote and do an even better job covering these kids here in the mountains of eastern Kentucky. That's going to wrap us up, though. Just as I close, I do see my buddy Todd Meadows is here. Thank you, Todd, for tuning in. Otis Atkins says, don't sleep on the Mullins Tigers. We've had them in our top 10, brother. Got a lot of good fans over there sending us stuff, and Miss Atkins taking pictures for us. We'll keep everybody up to date on Mullins and a lot of the teams in that area. We're looking actively, by the way, for people that might be interested in us helping promote their photography business, and in return, they'd send us some pictures and scores. We'd be glad to work with you and put together something like that. Reach out to us, guys. Thank all of you once again for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed your Thanksgiving. Be safe if you go out there shopping. If you see me, come up and talk to us. My wife and I are going to be the first Black Friday shopping me and her's been out and done in a while. But to be quite honest, she and I both know between basketballs and both of our day jobs, I think I get a lot of Christmas shopping done tomorrow. And we plan on doing that and having a good time, being safe, and spending some good time with each other. Finally tonight, guys, let me say two things. Number one, next week we'll do one more time the 15th region previews. We also will recap the AMW Hall of Fame. I had a chance to interview about 3 of those AMW Hall of Famers. I wanted to wait and do their interviews next week because I felt like I'd have a little more time to show them and talk about them. Then, guys, after that show, next Thursday night, from there on, we plan on having players and coaches, and I'm working on some ways in which I think even the fans could call in on our show. Now, we tried that on the radio, and that didn't work out because we had a couple guys who thought they'd be cute and call in and all that. Facebook's a little different. When you call in, we're going to be able to see you. We learned last week 2 of the 3 AMW superstars that called in on the show last week wasn't scheduled. We were scheduled to have Marty Clay and Stan Sierra, the champion. That was supposed to be the 2 that we had on last week. Well, Stan, just to be quite honest with you, was on the road, and we couldn't ever get the signal strong enough to pull off that interview. So we had John Noble, and we had this, well, let's just leave it alone. Had no gentleman call us. He's a little bit rude to me, to be honest with you. I made up my mind, by the way, on people like him. If that ever happens again, I'm going to go to commercial break. before I let them get on here on my show and disrespect us at Hometown Sports. But anyhow, I will have you on the air. And then there's John Holiday. Shout out to John Holiday. John, is it okay? I think it will be for me to go ahead and announce this. Hometown Sports Corner is going to team up with John Holiday. We're going to sponsor his photography at the Dome. And so exclusive pictures and a recap and a little bit of video to show right here on a couple upcoming shows as that dirt track week of excitement is upon us. And John is packing up and headed to the Dome. And we are going to be one of his sponsors. A lot of people have helped me along the way and are helping me along the way. And so John and I have worked out a deal, and I'm going to sponsor him. And so that'd be cool. And John says, yes, sir. So for those of you that stuck around to the last 2 minutes of the show, we will be one of his sponsors for the Dome. And we're looking forward to that. That's going to wrap us up, though, guys. You be good sports fans. Make sure to go to church on Sunday. If you don't have anywhere to go, come be with me at Lighthouse Baptist Church every Sunday at 2 o'clock. Go see my buddy James Sandlin down at Montgomery Baptist, Sundays at 11. And until then, you be good sports fans. I'll see you around the corner on Hometown Sports Corner. Good night. God bless you, everyone.
What keeps you going? Your love for the game? Your teammates? A victory? At ARH Orthopedics, our goal is to keep you pain-free so your body can keep going. There's no time for discomfort in your joints or ligaments caused by an injury. ARH Orthopedic providers specialize in treatment plans, from non-surgical and surgical options, so your care is entirely centered around you. Visit arh.org/ortho to find an orthopedic provider near you. ARH, more for Appalachia.
Nelson Frazier Funeral Home is proud to sponsor tonight's sporting event. Nelson Frazier has the highest quality American-made funeral products, cremation services, mausoleum, and memorial markers, all with a family budget in mind. With 3 chapels located in Hyman, Martin, and now in Prestonsburg, Nelson Frazier Funeral Home is local people serving local families.
On streets of glory.
Addiction is a disorder. We treat and we manage addiction like any other disorder. The issue touched me when I start seeing more and more young families fighting addiction, start having babies born with an addiction issue. When we have a great outcome, when we see that person coming back on their feet, working and producing and providing for their families. That's the best outcome and make you feel that you're doing something right.
Are you looking for personalized health care that's efficient and close to home? Primary Care Center is now your destination for comprehensive health care in the center of your community. With a team of experienced and caring local providers, we offer a range of services. We have locations in Hazard, Hyden, Hindman, Pico, and now our new Whitesburg location. Stop by today and walk-ins are welcome. That's Primary Care Centers of Eastern Kentucky.
Take the short drive to satisfaction with the Tim Short Auto Group. Up to 5,000 vehicles to choose from. Shop online or in person.
Hey, I'm Tim Short. I'd just like to invite everybody out to one of our 27 locations, or check us out online at timshortautogroup.com.
Take the short drive to satisfaction and bring home your new vehicle.
Nestled in the mountains of Appalachia, along the Purpose Road, is a hidden gem, Alice Lloyd College. For 100 years, ALC has been providing opportunities.
Opportunity to learn from the best.
Opportunity to work for my education.
Opportunity to serve my community.
Opportunity to become a leader.
Opportunity to find my life's purpose.
Apply now to find your purpose at Alice Lloyd College.
For over 100 years, the Bank of Hyman has been committed to serving our community and serving the future of our families, homes, and businesses. With our new convenient online banking, viewing your account balance and history, transferring money, and paying bills has never been easier or more secure. And with the construction of our new headquarters, we've renewed our promise to Hyman to stand by our customers even in troubling economic times, because we're not just your bank, we're your neighbors. That's the Bank of Hyman. Log on to www.bankofhyman.com or give us a call at 606-785-3158.
Knott County Judge Executive Jeff Dobson and the Knott County Fiscal Court is happy to once again be sponsoring another event featuring our Knott County youth. Judge Executive Dobson and the members of the Knott Fiscal Court encourage you to support all our Knott County youth in all of their academic and athletic endeavors. That positive reinforcement means the world to these student athletes. This reminder from Knott County Judge Executive Jeff Dobson and the Knott County Fiscal Court.